Hi guys, welcome back to The Simple Happy Life, and in today's video I want to share what we're up to, what we're up to Wednesday in our homeschool. So this week is like an off week for us, so we are just pretty much trying to game school, or I've decided to do like a just giant morning baskets for this week. We call them daily digs. And so what we're going to do this week is kind of break down the games, just a few a day, and then some writing, creative writing, storytelling, devotional, our read aloud, our science, and just have fun with it. The boys, I asked if there's anything they wanted to continue working on, and they said they wanted to continue with their all about spelling. And so we're gonna do that because they like working through those steps so they can kind of get their certificate. So I'm not mad at you. Motivation. So I'm gonna just quickly walk you through what's in each of these bins. So to start with, we have our science that we're gonna be doing, continue doing, because we are playing with water. We're learning about water, and they seem to really be enjoying this and the experiments that we're doing with it. So we're gonna continue to do that. But I just wanted to share, it's from the Science Works for Kids. I think I may have shared this in another video that we would be starting this, and the boys have really have been enjoying it. And so I've put the experiments for the last set we did in these kind of page protectors so that they wouldn't get them all wet. So that was really helpful. And then we're just going to continue on. Let's give you a quick flip through the like investigations. You can kind of see they're just things that we already have around the house, like a wooden block, a plastic tub, a bucket, a bowl of water, pennies. So this book was really inexpensive. It's from Evan Moore, and they're going to make a little book and just, you know, do some fun experiments, and it leads you through it as a parent as well. So I really like that. So we're going to be doing that this week for our science. Aloud, we're reading the Calder Game, and I've been reading it, but I also purchased it on Audible just because I had a free credit, and the boys like listening to this beyond my wanting to continue reading. So that's been nice to have someone else pick up, and they've still been able to follow. We've never done it like that. Usually I do all the reading, or I have the Audible play completely, but in and out of it, just jumping to the chapters that that are after the ones I've read has been really cool. And then while the read along is going, my youngest likes to work on sticker books or build blocks or something like that. So I have these in here, and these are just from the Dollar Tree. And when he finishes these, I'll switch them out. Then I have our calendar in here, just so we know, you know, what day it is. And then we have, this was just in here because we had a Zoom meeting yesterday with our zoo club, and this was one of the activities. We played bingo, and they gave us a tour of the rainforest, the birds in the rainforest. So that was a fun activity. And then we have this book, these workbooks for, they're not even workbooks, they are handwriting books for storytelling and creative writing. And inside, when you open it up, you have the letters in print and in cursive, and then all of the pages look like this. So you have a place to draw, and then you have lines to write your story. And in this one, it's the same, where they have their lines with the printed letters on them, and then they go into this, but they start like this. So it's not as intimidating as having, you know, all of these lines on a page, whereas my youngest can just focus on one side at a time, and then he'll be able to work his way there within that same workbook. This is what we're kind of doing for history right now. We're, you know, talking about the election, and they see, you know, they watch the news with us a little bit, but I got this book for free, and the boys like it because it's kind of like a graphic novel. They like graphic novels, and it's got some silly things in it, and so we talk about the silly, and I think it's a good way to talk about history, just because I feel like we have to make fun of ourselves sometimes because we have done some crazy things. We continue to do some crazy things, but it's a nice lighthearted way to introduce some very serious topics. So I like that. And then, as I said, they requested to continue doing their spelling. So we go in and out of this, but I think we're going to stay with this. And in addition to the Evan Moore's spelling program. I think that would be a nice balance for each other for my oldest this year. So we're going to continue with this, and then these are just the notebooks that we use alongside. They're just regular old notebooks. So my youngest has started this one because he just finished level 1 of their reading, and they suggest that you start level 1 of their spelling after completing level 1 of their reading. So we're doing that, and he's really excited about it. And I keep all of their cards. I don't know how organized this is, but well, actually it's okay right now. This is how I organize all the cards for their reading and then their spelling in the back. And these are little slim boxes from IKEA. You can purchase boxes from All About Learning's website in order to store these cards in, because you do need them for every lesson. And then we have their laptops, which are not down here right now, but their tablets are, we're using those so they can continue doing their teaching textbooks, as well as the spelling app we use for All About Spelling. Now these we are using in combination with the games. So after we play the games, I've been kind of asking them, you know, what's one thing that really stood out to them, what's one thing, or yesterday specifically we played this game, and asked them what as a state that you remember, what's something about the state you remembered. Let's look up more about that state, because clearly you were kind of interested, something stuck in your little mind about that state. So we flipped through, and I allowed them, or I asked them to find one of the states they were interested in and then share it with us. Read the little information in here about it. So that's what they did, and they enjoyed doing that. And I have the World Atlas, so we can do the same with World Geo Bingo. We were supposed to play it last night, but that didn't happen, you know, life. And so, let's see, the last kind of resource book I have in here is this Usborne Illustrated Grammar and Punctuation, and it is such a fun little book. And so flip through. It just kind of talks about all the different parts. Let me go back to the beginning. Different parts of speech, why we need grammar and punctuation. And I think that's a good way to start this book. My son is always like, why do we need to know these rules? You know, but I keep it fun. They enjoy writing, but I think learning about these word classes is really important, and just helps make them better writers. And learning all kinds of fun adjectives is what we've been kind of working on. And so this book just kind of takes you through, and it has quizzes and stuff. So that is a fun one. I know I talked about that a bit, but some word games we'll be playing this week are Upwards, which is just where you can build the words on the board, but you can also stack letters on top. So if you spelled log, L-O-G, then you could put B over the L and spell bog. Sorry, my washing machine seems to be going a little crazy. I don't know what's happening with that. My hubby's helping me with laundry. I'm sorry. That's a laugh for me. I'm really grateful for him helping. I don't know what's going on with that though. Oh my. So let me continue on. We're also going to be playing or using this kind of a puzzle game to build sentences, and I think the boys are really going to enjoy it. We haven't played this one yet. We've been playing silly sentences, but I think they've got those word parts down. So we are moving into a big box of games to building a sentence. And we're going to be playing this, another bingo, and I want my youngest to call these words out and I want my oldest to spell them. And so they're pretty like common sight words, but sometimes, you know, we get where and two just a little confused. I think he knows when he knows what he's trying to say, but he doesn't always choose the right word. So that'll be a way to work with that. And then money bags for math, counting coins, and then for multiplication practice. They actually have a lot of different games you can play with that. These are some cards to go with our Right Start Math card games. Even if you don't use Right Start Math as your full-on math curriculum, this is worth it. I think this is worth purchasing this book specifically and getting the card games. And we have the abacus, well, they each have one to go along with it. These games are so reinforcing and so fun and hands-on, and they really enjoy them. So while we do teaching textbooks every day now, I'm gonna go back to using our Right Start Math, just because I felt like I knew that they were getting it, that they were understanding it. But because my first grader wanted to do teaching textbooks, but I want him to go back to doing this as well. My third grader, we'll see. And so more multiplication. This is from The Good and the Beautiful. They're little books that have little songs that go with them to practice multiplication, and my first grader absolutely loves this. My oldest doesn't love the music that goes with it so much, so I've asked him just to make up his own, and he does, and he has. So that's fun. Let me show you actually inside of one of these. You probably have seen these before, but just in case you hadn't. So I think the rhyme is like 3 times 3 is 9, 9 monkeys on a vine. And then it goes again. I can't sing, so I'm not gonna do that. But it goes through, and this is the first book. And then they have these practice tabs at the back. And so my youngest, like I said, the first grader really likes this. And then I think the last thing in here for history, I just have these Brain Quest cards, and I think that goes well with our book about the election. So that is it. I brought the globe down so we can locate things on the globe. We already have maps up in our dining room just because we do a lot of learning in here, and our arts and crafts are kind of stored over there in our buffet. So you see I have our easels in here. So this space really gets used for learning and playing a lot. So I thought the maps would, you know, make sense to have down here. All right, guys, that is it. That is what we are working our way through this week. Actually, sorry. This is what we're doing for devotionals from VeggieTales. My youngest is reading these out loud to us every day. And then my oldest is just kind of telling us about his thoughts and how we could apply it, and just starting that discussion for us. And then I'm sitting down with each of the boys to work on these big life journals. These are so gorgeous, guys. Maybe I'll do a separate video for a flip through because I think it's worth it. But they got these for Valentine's Day, and so we've been working on those. So that is it for real this time. I hope you all are taking care and having a great week. I'm gonna put this up, and we actually haven't started today, so I'm gonna go ahead and set up the first game. I think they think it's fun when they come down and see it set up, and they're like, oh, this is what we're about to do. Yes, games. So that's exciting. All right, talk to you later. Bye.